Hello everybody, it's me Sam Power. It is late. 3 a.m. recordings, that's right. That's what I'm gonna start calling them. I decided to take up the art of reading past this time, so we're just gonna randomly go into one of the I don't know what I'm exactly going to read from. I guess Fanfiction.net. And we're just going to go from there. Where is it? Cartoons. And we're just going to go from newest English. Oh, hold up. Filter. All ratings. English. Okay, what do we start with? I'm going at the... Let's go into this. Okay. Whatever this is, I'm just randomly reading your stuff, so deal with it. And no, I am not doing any voices. I'm just... Oh god, the ads are everywhere. Oh my god, help. Help. Did they really? Hold on. Where's my ad blocker? I apologize, guys. I have an ad blocker somewhere. I don't have an ad blocker. Oh. You just get the deal while I'm scrolling. Fat. No. None of this is right. All of the creatures Discord could count on to cause mayhem within the walls of his house. His oh so perfectly named son, Chaos, was not on that list. The usually down-to-earth Pegasus Colt took more after his mother than his father, not that Discord-minded. It left plenty of room for his daughter, Chaos, twin sister, Calamity, to be the primary sour of pandemonium in the family, second only to Discord himself, of course. Yet today, as he stepped into the twins' odd bedroom, with a line down the middle to delegate whose side was whose and what area Calamity couldn't redecorate on a whim, he was surprised to see a maelstrom of crumpled papers and trashed plans, as well as magical gimmicks uncommon for the cult that made Calamity's wonderfully wacky half of the room look tame in comparison. That was saying a lot, considering half of the room looked like a beachy paradise, complete with palm trees, a hammock, even a whole ocean disappearing into the horizon, all without their strengths of gravity getting in the way. Discord eyed the Chaos, as well as Chaos, whose idea was it to name the child Chaos anyway. Oh look, it's me with my offers notes, with an amused smile. What's up, kiddo? Dad, he cried in desperate relief, flying to his father and pulling him into the center of his madness. Thank goodness you're here. I need your help. Sweet Chaos. Kill me. What is all this? This? He paused, releasing Discord's paw, This is the futility of my life's endeavors. He chuckled nervously, rubbing the back of his neck with his hoof. And that is complicated. Really complicated. He hummed, rummaging through the papers. Why are mayors so complicated? Oh, fuck. What have I gotten myself into? It's K plus. It can't be that bad. Ah, yes. The principle that plagues stallions around the world. Well, Chaos, I'm afraid you may never know. Huh. That's interesting. The stallion's eyes widened in panic. Never? Never. I'm still trying to figure out myself. The Draconicus playfully ruffled his son's red and pink streaked mane. That's adorable. I thought it would get more complicated than me, and then I married your mother. Chaos laughed a little, just a little short chuckle with an edge of nervousness, and that's how Discord knew he had a great deal of fathering to do, and would perhaps have to think of actually helpful, normal, non-chaotic advice to give. Does it have anything to do with some pony that you've had your eye on? The cold blush and sheepish grin were all the response he needed, if he even needed that. Ever since he was in diapers, Clear Chaos had an infatuation with a certain bookworm's daughter, Morning Glory's Sparkle. Morning Glory Sparkle. Of course it would be a sparkle. That is me saying that, really saying that. As they grew up, Calamity, Chaos, and Morning Glory turned out to be quite the trio. A group of friends more rambunctious and inseparable than the original Cutie Mark Crusaders themselves. And Chaos's admiration for the sunset-colored alicorn only grew. So who was the father? You can't do this to me. Who was the father? For the sake of the timid colt, their parents pretended not to know about his lifelong crush till he approached them with it. That had been a proud day for Discord, one he never imagined in his many years of life, and yet one he remembered with fondness all the same. He seemed the only one who wasn't aware of it was Morning Glory herself, as a chaos in love with her was the only chaos she knew. To her, that was just him. Calamity, despite her impish tendencies had remained a steadfast middle ground between the two, never pushing either towards the other for the sake of her own amusement. Much better than Discord would have done, if he was being honest. Chaos was her brother, and Morning Glory was her confidant, the one she could talk to about anything, and she'd learned very, very early on in her 16 years of life to let fate do its thing and not get involved in any way that could harm her relationship with either. Alright, what's up? I'm, thinking about asking her out? Discord's eyes sparkled brightly, aware of his son's hesitation, but determined to be supportive and excited anyways. Oh, really? Yes. What should have been a happy confirmation. Yes. What should have been a happy confirmation sounded like something he was dreading. You don't sound so sure. He's not. He's been going back and forth in the mirror all morning trying to convince himself. The two looked up and over to Calamity's half of the room where she'd looked up from casual reading. Hey look, it's me. Discord could have sworn she wasn't there when he entered. Then again, she was as chaotic an entity as him. It was very plausible she wasn't. Calamity, Chaos warned under his breath. What? It was pretty obvious. You went back and forth for nearly an hour. She chortled innocently, causing chaos's grammar face to burn a bit in embarrassment. Sorry, was I disturbing you? No, not at all. She slid out of her gently swaying hammock and landed in the powdery white sands beneath. I was pretty entertained, naturally. In response, he rolled his eyes playfully at her. You would be. I have to fucking go through these ads every time. Who wouldn't be? She shot back with an equally, if not more sarcastic eye roll. This story has it all. So she's aware of the story, right? Warily, he watched her approach the line that ran down the middle of their bedroom. After a pause and a teasing smirk, she hopped right over, a gray fedora and suit appearing on her, a pencil in her pocket, and a pad of paper in her paw. In a dramatic news reporter voice, she pitched her story to her audience of two. That's right, folks. There's romance, mystery, and suspense. Will Chaos finally manage to ask out the mayor of his dreams? Will she say yes? Will they have happily ever after? Find out the answer to these and many more tonight on Hard to Believe. When finished, she held out both arms and did a little brow wiggle, as if asking what he thought of her performance. Hard to believe? He shook his head, barely holding back a laugh. Calamity, you are impossible. Why, thank you. She bowed, and then quickly as it appeared, her outfit vanished. Discord in the meantime was choking over his children's antics, delighting in the wonderfully chaotic beings he helped create. Calamity's pink and teal ombre eyes softened. Chaos, you know I love and support you here, but if you're not convinced this will work, it won't. She's right, Discord added softly. Again, the cold sighed, his eyes drifting to the ground. Not literally, I should mention. What? I know. But, Chaos sighed, plopping down on the plush green carpet where Discord and, oops, there's a mistake. Where Discord and promptly joined him, followed by Calamity. Oops. I don't know where to even start. I don't know how to go about this, how to ask, or what to do if she says no. There's too much I don't know. At least Chaos was willing to admit that, Discord thought, remembering a long period of denial in his own life. There's a lot of unknowns here. There. His he acknowledged simply, offering a hopeful smile. But you're a Discord, and we thrive off the possibilities of the unknown. This doesn't feel like thriving, he snapped, and for a second his red pupils were lit with the fire of all the negative emotions inside him. But his eyes widened in realization, and after a shot of an apologetic look at it to his dad, he took a calming breath. Sorry, you know I'm not like you. I can't bend reality. I can't make the impossibility a reality. I don't have your confidence or wits. This is hard for me, plain and simple. Discord sighed a little. Yes, Chaos was so much like his mother, anxiety and all. Discord knew the cult didn't usually have a problem with this. He knew Chaos was comfortable in his skin. But he also knew there was times he felt like he was lacking, when he wished he had more Discord in him. With all the sincerity he held as a father, he looked into his son's eyes, the same gold and red eyes Discord was known for. The eyes that proved Chaos was his son. Not even I'm confident all the time, Chaos. Yeah, right, he scuffed, and even Calamity seemed unconvinced. I'm serious, he defended. When I realized I was falling in love with your mother, I was terrified. For the longest time, I couldn't even admit it to myself. In all of my hundreds of thousands of years of life, had never felt such a feeling. It scared me. He could see the colt warming up to the idea, listening curiously to his words. Well, what did you do? For a while, nothing. I didn't want to risk our friendship. But the more time we spent together, the more I knew I had to find a way to tell her. And Chaos leaned in, farther than he should have been able to while Calamity watched. Though, thought first glance, she seemed barely more than interested. Her eyes were curious, and her ears were perched and ready to listen. Burn it all. Have I ever told you the story of our first date? Hey, is that a wall text? Nice. Two shook their heads, and Discord found himself rather surprised. He loved that story, or at least the ending. Given the circumstances, it was the perfect time to remedy his previous failure. It all started on a relatively normal Tuesday. Is that Spike? Discord had just left Fluttershy's after their usual Tuesday teas when he appeared in a flash of light, hovering over Spike and startling him from his latest comic book. Spike! I hate this accent I'm doing for Discord. The dragon raised the brows, somewhat used to Discord popping in randomly and unannounced, but what really surprised them was how panicked the Lord of Chaos looked. Whoa! Where's the fire? Discord froze midair, blinking once and twice, and Spike could tell he was considering one or two Discordy ways to respond, perhaps a visual gag, but he seemed off his game that day. Never mind. He waved it off, hoping to discourage any accidental lighting of the library they currently occupied in fire. What's up? I need your help, he said, crossing his paws and claw. Okay. Confused, he waited to see if the Draconequus might elaborate. Why? Despite coming to him asking for help, he was stubborn and hesitant to even admit why. Unimpressed and hopefully to get back to his books somewhat soon, Spike tried asking again. I want to ask out Fluttershy. He gasped out so quickly, Spike. Oh, I want to ask out Fluttershy. He gasped out so quickly, Spike was wondering if he'd even heard correctly. Even so, his eyes glimmered hopefully. What was that? Discord glared a little. Spike knew he was great with feelings, but the fanboy in him... Oh, buddy. But the fanboy in him needed to hear it anyways. I want to ask her out, but I don't know how. He sighed. I was hoping you, as a hopeless romantic, might be able to help. The dragon squealed in delight, creating a noise that shouldn't have come out of a dragon his age. For a second, Discord was regretting his decision, especially as the dragon got more excited. I knew it! I knew this day was coming. Spike. My OTP is happening right before my eyes. I'm going to have to search that one up later. Actually, I'm curious. I don't know how long my internet's been out. What the fuck? Has my internet been out this whole time? No. One true berry. Gotcha. Spike. Whoa! Spike! Discord growled, snapping his fingers. Spike's mouth zipped shut as Discord gave him a warning look. Yes, you were right all along and all that. But I don't need you fangirling right now. I came for help, and I came to ask someone else, and I can ask someone else if... No! Spike had never seen anyone unzip their mouth as quickly as Spike had, though he did have the benefit of fingers. You're not wrong. No, absolutely. I can help. I'll be happy to help. Even. Good. The two quickly moved to one of the library's many tables where Discord explained himself, his concerns, his worries. I'm scared things will change, but after tea today, I realized I couldn't act like I don't love her. I need to tell her. I need to let her to know if she feels the same. I don't know where to even start. Spike nodded intently. I think I made a good start. Discord knew he was teasing him after months of trying to get Discord to admit his feelings. He was clearly happy he'd come around. He just needed some time. The first step is, how do you want to tell her? By taking her flowers and confessing? Telling her outright the next time you see her? I want it to be something special. Like treating her to dinner.
Oh god, I can't do my Discord voice.
Treating her to dinner. I think something romantic that she might like. But I don't want it to be awkward if she doesn't feel the same. I don't think that's a problem you need to worry about. Discord raised a brow, but didn't question it. Perhaps it was worth taking a leap of faith. Do you think you could help me surprise her? Spike grinned a little wider. What are you thinking? I won't bore you with all the details, but needless to say, after a few hours we had our plan. A few nights later we set a romantic dinner for two, and Spike was tasked with luring her there. I really must thank you for doing this, Fluttershy, and on such short notice, too. Rarity smiled warmly as her and Fluttershy entered the back room of her boutique, where all her in-progress designs and projects were kept. Oh, but of course. Oh, fuck that. Oh, of course. I'm always happy to help a friend in need.
I can't do a Fluttershy voice.
A good thing, too. I need these dresses ready to present at the end of the week. But I realize I've yet to see them on any pony. And seeing them on some pony really does make a difference. They sit differently than they do on mannequins. Understandable. The mayor nodded, looking around the back room at all the mini dresses hanging in every corner of the workroom. How many do you want me to try on? I'm doing my derby voice. Whoops. Rarity pulled a rack over towards them in her blue magical aura. Oh, as many of them as we can get through for supper time, I suppose. Fluttershy, that's no wrong, nodded as Rarity handed her the first dress. Before stepping into the nearest dressing room, ponies. They don't have dressing rooms. As she put on the gown, Rarity removed the bags from and arranged the next few dresses for Fluttershy to try on. Hidden among them was the dress, the one Fluttershy would be wearing tonight as Discord swept her off her hose. Oh, yes, she was in on it. A few years ago, she might have protested entirely to the idea and refused to have any hoof in it. But now, well, Discord had proven himself one of the noble ones. He'd listened and learned of kindness and friendship, but the hooves of Fluttershy had grown so much from it. It was bound to happen, and the romantic in her was glad to see the day the two of them fell in love. Even so, Rarity felt the tiniest bit guilty about the deception. Not enough to dissuade her from participating, but she'd be sure to apologize to Fluttershy later. Granted, if the evening went well, there wouldn't be much need for apologizing. Oh, she couldn't wait to hear all about it. Ready? Fluttershy called, stepping out of the dressing room and twirling once the designer was looking. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? The first dress was made of pink satin. Not Satan, satin top with a tulle skirt, layered with all the colors of the Aurora Borealis. I can't say it. Boreas. It shimmered and shifted in the light, looking truly magical. She especially loved the look of satin on the mare, and a good thing too. You make it look stunning, she winked, leading her to the podium surrounded by mirrors. Now allow me to make a few adjustments. It was nothing drastic. The dress was near perfection, but a few flowers at the waist needed to be shifted. At least she told a partial truth. This did need to happen before they went on display at the end of the week. 2 birds with 1 stone, right? Rarity, as they worked, as also managed to play around with the mare's mane as they tried on a few dresses, because the hair was just as important as the outfit. And she needed ideas. This is a freaking Rarity fan if I've seen one. They made an excellent progress as Rarity timed each transition, each adjustment till she knew just to the right moment to give her the last dress for the evening. Not that she knew that. Rarity traded off the old outfit as a simple spring green evening dress made of soft, shining satin. She hadn't intended it when she first made it, but it was a perfect gown for Fluttershy. She supposed something inside her knew she'd be needing it soon. As the other mare slipped into the dress, Rarity arranged the completed gowns back on their hangers, placing them nicely in their bags all ready to go. And when Fluttershy stepped out, Rarity was beaming with pride. Well, don't you look stunning? Fluttershy blushed, looking down sheepishly. It's a very nice dress. Oh, it's a very nice dress. A dress can only do so much, she remarked, once again taking her to the pedestal, tightening the ties, making sure everything was laid just right. This bun isn't doing it for me, though. She knew it would, on an occasion as this required more elegance, something more airy and magical. Just like before, Rarity undid her early to work, brushing out her mane before starting over again. Allow me to just, of course. Whatever helps you see your vision, Fluttershy said with a patient smile as Rarity smoothed out her mane. This time, she took it up into a waterfall braid, using her magic to add extra waves to her mane, as it fell beautifully over her shoulders like a flowing waterfall, a perfectly named style. Perfect with the dress as well. Rarity took notes as before, for the sake of the illusion, unwilling to spoil anything. Yes, I think this will do quite nicely. For a moment she saw Fluttershy get lost in her reflection, breathless with silent wonder. So... Yes, Rarity nodded with a chuckle as the mare struggled for words. It's almost simpler than my typical designs, but there's an elegance and grace that comes with such simplicity. Oh, it does suit you so wonderfully. You think so? Oh, absolutely. Why, I'd drag you to Canterlot just to have you model this dress if I knew you would. Oh, no, I can't. I know, darling. Rarity sighed wistfully. The startling sound of the front door slamming open, followed by a quick jingle of the welcome bell, ended what Rarity might have said next and pulled their attention in that same direction. Rarity did her best to act normal, naturally, moving to the door that separated the rest of the boutique from her fitting rooms. I must have forgotten to lock up. I shan't be a moment, darling. I've always changed the spelling of that one. Anything? Never mind. Before she could gracefully open the door, Spike came bursting in, wide-eyed and breathless. Heartless. Yes, Spike is heartless. Rarity, have you seen Fluttershy? The dragon cried as he caught sight of her. Fluttershy, we need you! Animals! Trouble! Whoa. Hold on, slow down, please. Fluttershy soothed, though worried over his panic. What's happening, Spike? Near the edge of the tree. I was walking, and I saw... I need you! The two mares shared concerned looks as the dragon began to pull on the yellow Pegasus tool. I want to help, really, but I can't get rid of this dress for him. Just, no time, he insisted. Well, it does sound quite perilous. Verity hummed with a furrowed brow. Just go help. Whatever this is must be more important than the dress. At their moment of consideration, Fluttershy nodded and turned to the young dragon. Show me what's wrong. With a nod, she took off out of the Banty, leaving just as abruptly as he came. Fluttershy closely towed. Do be careful of the dress, Verity called after them as they flew off to the edge of Ponyville, the twilight providing just enough light. After they were safe distance away, Rarity just smiled, shaking her head. What a troublemaker. She wasn't sure if she was referring to Spike or Discord. Either way, she wished her friend good luck. Go get him, Fluttershy. I hope you have a wonderful night. Wow. That's actually pretty clever. Calamity smirked. And a little sneaky, too. Thanks. Aunt Rarity was in on it? Yep. I'm sorry. Yep. He chuckled. And thanks to her handiwork, I think things were all the more magical. What happened next? Chaos pressed, earning a fond smile from Discord. There can't be that much more into this, right? There's so much more. Discord watched from a distance the spot he and Spike had determined to meet. Dinner sat waiting in a small table, candles sat unlit to avoid giving away the surprise. The sun was setting, and by the time they got there, it would be just dark enough. Fireflies were already lighting up, adding a beautiful and calming ambience to the atmosphere. Hostess approached from behind. Though he knew they weren't Fluttershy's, he knew where they'd be coming from. No, these belonged to Applejack, who volunteered to help with creating the menu for tonight. Sure, Discord could create anything in Snap, but things tasted better when made by hand without the aid of magic. The two had cooked up some of Fluttershy's favorite food, as well as dessert, for them to enjoy. At the very least, he was grateful for the mayor's help and support. He was still so nervous, waiting steadfastly, the horse for Fluttershy to appear. Applejack stood by his side for a moment in silence, watching with him. Discord. I can't do my voice. I'm not even gonna try. Silence, of course, is meant to be broken. Have you ever wanted something more desperately, yet been so afraid to go and have it? You'd know the answer to that one. Oh, you'd know the answer to that one. Every day, he said. She is graceful and beautiful. I can't do the voice. I'm sorry, I can't do voices loudly. And perfect. I'm just big and awkward. And well, look at me. He gestured. I have never been so terrified as I am right now. Not even a second time as I was turned. Not like this. Then I knew I was losing power and freedom, but I was convinced I'd be back. That I'd be able to try again and win. But tonight, I'm afraid if I mess things up, we can't go back. If she doesn't feel the same, I don't know if I can pretend like it's fine, like it doesn't hurt. You know, she looks up to ya, right? She adores ya. But but is that the same as, I suppose you'll find out if you're willing. He paused thoughtfully, looking at her curiously before returning his gaze to the setting sun. Love is like that sometimes, Discord. Love is like that sometimes, Discord. It's frightening in all the right ways. She saw his eyes lock on the horizon as fluttershy spike forward, silhouetted against the sky. It gets your heart racing, the tongue's tied. It fills your stomach with butterflies that spread to the chest and your head and leave you all dizzy. The longing look in his eyes as he watched her fly gracefully through the open field spoke volumes more than words ever could. He just needed the right nudge to keep going and finally take that leap of faith. But you'll find she's worth it. Every terrifying... there's no accent there, what the fuck? But y'all find she's worth it. Every terrifying and beautiful breath. He hadn't looked away from the moment she'd appeared. Now she landed in the field, nearly breathless. AJ knew she couldn't let him hesitate. I think this is when you hop into a soup and get over there. Twins watched breathlessly, waiting on the edge of figurative seats for the end of when Discord notices lovely life standing in the doorway, a gentle smile on her face. And what are you up to, my darlings? Calamity and Chaos turned to their mothers, still entranced by Discord's tale. I'm going to save you that one, writer. Chaos was the one to speak, answering with a simple, "He's telling us about your first date." Her smile brightened. "Oh, I love that one. Is he telling it well?" They nodded earnestly. Calamity, who wasn't known to be a romantic, seemed just as enthusiastic as her twin. "He was just getting to the part about dinner." I'm actually so glad you came, my love. I simply couldn't do it justice without you." He patted the carpet beside him, and she happily joined him. "Now where were we?" The twins looked to their parents, who smiled fondly at their distant memories. Fluttershy stepped forward, confused, realizing that Spike had stopped a little further back. The urgency she'd felt was replaced slowly and surely with confusion as she squinted in the fading light. No sooner than she had made out the silhouette of a small table was it suddenly lit by a gentle glow of several candles. A few stayed on the table while others floated into the air, dancing around the meadows with the fireflies. Surprised, she turned around, looking for the only creature she knew who could be responsible for this, and found him. There he stood, just as wide-eyed and breathless as her, the soft candle light illuminating his features in a halo of golden light. He wore a simple black suit jacket with a green satin tie that matched her dress so perfectly it gave her the inkling Rarity might have been on this. All thought of crisis disappeared, placed with a warm pink glow in her cheeks. "Discord," she breathed, shuffling in the simple satin gown she wore, its smooth fabric accenting her delicate figure. For the moment, all she could do is whisper her name like a prayer, hoping he'd have the courage that night to say what he'd wanted to say for so long. You look stunning, my dear." Her blush. "Oh, you look stunning, my dear." My Discord voice is the only one I can do tonight. Okay. Her blush deepened. "You think so?" "More beautiful than Seraphone herself." "No. I have to stop you there." He tenderly extended a paw to her, which, after a brief moment of surprise, she took with a smile that pierced his heart like a ray of pierced light. With the comfort of her hoof in his paw, he looked over at the table set before them. I sat and prepared with a dinner for two. "Fluttershy, would you join me for dinner tonight?" She giggled lightly, knowing it might have been a little late to ask, but happy he had. "Yes, I would love nothing more." "Splendid." He realized he'd been wringing his tail in his paw and claw just as it decided to revolt. It came alive for a moment like a snake, hitting him in the arm before returning to the normal functions of the tail behind him. Snapping from his daze, he stepped forward, and as true, gentle Coltwood pulled out her chair for her, allowing her to sit before sliding it back in. He'd done it countless times without even thinking about it when they were with friends or during their Tuesday teas, and yet simple gesture felt all the more meaningful and intentional tonight. Even if his nerves were starting to get the better of him, he was grateful it was simple things he could do right. The table was laid out with an assortment of light but satisfying foods for the both of them. Salads, sandwiches, soups, and foods of the like, with a few apple baked goods for dessert, and a bottle of chocolate milk. I was waiting for it to say bottle of chocolate. A bottle of chocolate milk off to the side in a bucket of ice. Once again, he was grateful for Applejack's help. When he got nervous, he tended to overwhelm others with options. Because the menu was taken care of, he could rest his magic and simply enjoy the evening with Fluttershy. Everything looks lovely, she smiled as he took the seat across from her. Out of the corner of his eyes, he could see Spike watching, Applejack attempting to lead him away and leave them be. He paid them no mind as he wished to devote his full focus to her. Let's dig in, shall we? She nodded, and for a long while the two ate, engaging in light conversations as they enjoyed the beautiful moonlit night. Every now and then, he felt himself getting lost in her eyes, enchanted by her beauty as he always was. Once dinner was polished off and dessert enjoyed, the soft musical ambience that she had hardly noticed before grew a little louder as if begging for a dance. Shall we? He asked, offering a paw once again, which she gracefully took, floating from her chair into his arms, and then we found out that this boy can't dance. He held her close, his paws wrapping around her back, all brushing up against her fur thanks to the backless dress Rarity had chosen. It was secured by a few ties that crisscrossed around her back, but it was otherwise left exposed. She shivered at the warmth of his paws resting just beneath her wings as she held him close, content to sway to the music for a song or two. As they swirled with candles that had shifted to give them the best light, Discord knew this was his moment. He found himself more confident with each minute he spent with her that night, leaving him with little doubt that she would accept his confession. No. With a deep breath, he steeled himself to say something before he talked himself out of it. Fluttershy, he started, and she hummed in response, looking up to meet his gaze again. Yes, Discord? Are you enjoying tonight? Yes, absolutely, she beamed. This was a nice surprise. Thank you, Discord. Anything, my darling. Anything for you, my darling, she replied gently, twirling her again. Truth is, there is something I'd want to tell you. Yes? He stopped, taking her hooves in his paws, in paw and claw. I've lost where I was. For a moment he focused on that, running his thumbs over her soft fur as he tried to pull his feelings into words. I've wanted to tell you this for a while now, really. It's about what you mean to me. Fluttershy, you gave me a chance when no one else could, and you trusted me again and again. When you didn't have to, when you could have easily given up on me, after each and every mistake I've made. You live up to your title, truly are the kindest soul I've ever met. I owe you everything I have and everything I am to you. For that, I am eternally grateful. Discord. Her eyes glossed over with tears as she spoke. His words warming her heart. But he wasn't done yet. He still had so much more to say. Because he's a fucking ass. I'm sorry, I need to stop. I've never known you your equal. Fluttershy. You mean the world to me. No, not just the world, the heavens, and every star in the night, or in the sky. You mean more than every ounce of chaos has ever meant to me. And every time I think of you, there are always three words that repeated themselves over and over again. I wanted to spend the rest of my life repeating those words. Oh. Tears were streaming steadily from both of them. The more he spoke, he pressed his forehead against her, and she responded the same. Their eyes closed as he finished. Fluttershy, I love you. More than chaos, more than life itself. And I wanted to tell you every day from now on, if you'll let me. Oh. She breathed shakily, wrapping her hooves around his neck. She could hardly speak from his tender words. What could she possibly say after a heartfelt speech? What could she manage but a simple, I love you, in return? Nothing. Not tonight. But she would show him, even a little tonight. Fluttershy, are you... What do you do? I'm sorry, let me stop. Just like he would. She'd find a way to tell him every day from then on. She gathered her courage, knowing he loved her dearly, as she loved him. Grateful he'd been brave enough to say it, and pressed her lips against his. Oh. Her heart stopped beating, and for a wonderful moment she transcended her own existence weightless as she kissed him tenderly, and when she pulled away, it was barely more. I love you too, so very much. They held each other a while longer, grateful for a beautiful ending for a beautiful night. And the rest is history. Fluttershy smiled, leaning into her husband's side. Whoa, Chaos breathed. His red pupil wider than they'd ever been. Neat story, Calamity said nonchalantly. But did you have to talk about the kissing? Fluttershy blushed a little. Yes, it was a key moment of that night. Her little filly rolled her eyes with a laugh. Sure. So? Discord smirked at his son. Feeling better? I think so. He slowly nodded. I guess it's nice to know you got scared sometimes too. Discord nodded. I know, right? Your mom is very scary. Oh, whatever. Oh, whatever. You big dork. She nudged him in the side, laughing alongside him. We're more alike than you think, Discord winked. And if you couldn't do it, so and if you can do it, so can I. Discord nodded, but don't feel like you have to pour your heart out to her on the first date. Money Glory might appreciate giving things time, dating a while and seeing how they work out before you guys start saying I love you and all that. Wait to say it until you mean it. Will do. Chaos grinned. I think I'll just start simply and ask her when her train comes in today. Speaking of, Fluttershy glanced at the clock hanging on the walls of the cousin's room. Look at the time. Holy creep, we're late! Chaos exclaimed, jumping up from the carpet and rushing to the door. Come on, Mom, we gotta go. We can't miss the train. Calamity ran after him. Chaos, you know I can just teleport us there, right? Fluttershy and Discord watched their children run off with smiles. I guess it's time for me to go. Fluttershy giggled, standing from the floor. It's not every day the Princess of Equestria visits from Camelot. Discord wrapped himself around her in a loving embrace, pressing a soft kiss against her lips. Tell me how it goes, alright? Discord nodded she nodded as Discord added with a mischievous grin. And remember, and make sure you remember Twilight's face when she sees I won the bet. Fluttershy shook her head giving him one last kiss before following her twins to the train station. Bravo. It was a good story. I mean, storytelling wise, I personally think they could have done better, but the story is good. And I like these stories about, like, Discord and Fluttershy because they're one of the most perfect pairings, or unperfect pairings, because they're so different, and yet they work. And it's just another one of those stories, like the one with Daughter of Discord and stuff like that, where you've got just these ponies that are so much like Discord and Fluttershy, and it's that. Yeah, I guess they both really are alike, as the story says. It's just a good story in my opinion. I mean, not the best, but definitely good. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. And this story is called, give me a second, Discordly Advice, and it's by Marina Stars. I will let the author of this fanfic know that I have read this, and will probably send them a message too. So, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, like it, and if you like my channel, subscribe. I will shut up, and you can go on with your day. Bye!